If you were to write the story of Seattle, one of boundless optimism and fearless ambition, of commerce and industry, decay and desecration, it would be perhaps fitting to use this typewriter in this room.
Built in 1911, this mill stands as a monument to the faith that its founders placed in the Northwest as an industrial center.
It was built on Harbor Island in 1911, and when it was booming, 3 million pounds of wheat rolled in the front door every day and exited out the back as flour.
And what an appetite. Every day, Fisher's grinds the annual average production of 2,500 acres of wheat land.
It was an astonishing example of sheer possibility of what a cow town on the edge of nowhere could be. It is a tomb, a sprawling catacomb of emptiness and decay around every corner, on every wall, reminders.
I'd be lying to you if I said it wasn't a little spooky in here.
That this is a boneyard of industry, a place where old Seattle optimism and audacity wore out and curled up to die.
From wheat to flour.
In its heyday, business boomed for years, decades.
What I saw at that time was a very busy milling operation with ships coming and going and cargo being loaded on 2 or 3 ships a day.
But in 2001, Fisher got out of the flour business and sold the property to Pendleton Flour out of Portland. A year later, Pendleton put the site up for sale too. King County liked the water and rail access.
So we purchased it to hold it as an option as we looked at alternatives for solid waste disposal.
If they needed to, they figured they could always put garbage on boats or trains here and send it away. But it turned out they didn't need to do that, and maybe they never will. The structures were completely abandoned, and for a long while they sat there, like a great museum, sealed up and frozen in time.
It was as if the workers had just set down their gloves and walked out.
In 2006, Dan Hawkins and some others snuck into the mill repeatedly to explore and photograph. These are some of his pictures. He says he loved it like this, and in his own way tried to protect it.
But see this television right here? This TV ran nonstop for over 6 years.
But vandals discovered the mill, and they ransacked the place. Chairs were thrown through windows, anything and everything knocked over, torn apart, violated.
See all this? Yeah. All the copper's gone.
And when they were finished, the copper thieves came and desecrated it further. All the while, Seattle thought the port should police the place, and the port thought the SPD should police the place.
Yeah, they've degraded the building on a spiritual level and on a structural level to a degree that's it's painful to watch.
And the landlord, King County, sat and watched with apparent disinterest. They still do.
It's like some post-apocalyptic art gallery or something.
It is a destination now for those who would inflict their artwork on that which is not theirs. Taggers show up from all over the West Coast to spray pictures, express themselves. The mill is their playground, and who's to stop them? Seattle's only graffiti detective already has his hands full.
I have not got any complaints about any buildings on Harbor Island. If I did get complaints, I would look into it, though.
It's been an ongoing challenge for us, providing adequate security out there that we continue to work on.
There are those who wonder if abandonment or demolition are the only options.
This would be a great performance space. This would be a great artist loft. This would be a great classroom. This would be a great movie hall. You name it.
It's sad. I'm sorry. I hope that they'll find a use for it and be able to reconstruct that property into a wonderful part of the Seattle community.
You just don't want to see this go away. You think it would be a waste.
It'd be a total waste. And anything but this.
We are making money on it. It's not costing the ratepayer anything. It's an asset which could have great value in the future, so we continue to maintain it.
On any given night, you can see them enter the once great mill. Explorers, some of them, Taggers, drug addicts, copper thieves, the curious, the angry, the disillusioned, having their way with the halls and walls and the soul of the place.
How about the future, Mr. Fisher?
The old dreams of a young city on the rise seem now like the quaint ramblings of an old man who nobody listens to anymore. And you wonder if this is how the story ends. Eric Johnson, KOMO 4 News.